My nan was actively trying to undermine me and we had an argument, then my brother got here and he had an argument with her in the first half hour. So she has gone to my aunt's for a while. She's still paying the bills here, but if she stops we will be okay with my brother's money and mine. My brother wants to take the kids and move house, but I am not even thinking about that until everything else is sorted out. Now that things are actually changing, our older sisters are more interested and have been messaging me so they might help as well. The kids are not taking the new routine too well, but we are making progress, so I'm trying to stick with it. I made a meal plan and have stuck to that all week. My 9-year-old sister told me she likes rules, which makes it feel worth it. The teenagers are kind of a nightmare, but I'm trying to persevere with them. 13-year-old was being horrific and I lost my shit, which made her have an emotional breakdown, and now she's been a lot better. 12-year-old has taken it okay. She just tells me I'm a loser all the time and asks for his skateboard back 1,000,000 times a day, but I know he knows where it is, so he is being pretty good considering he could just take it back if he really wanted. 16-year-old is hell. 7-year-old has like 3 tantrums a day and won't eat or sleep, so she stresses me out probably the most. My mom hasn't called anymore but is complying with giving us custody and told her friend it's the best thing that's ever happened to her. I go with her, and if she tries to come back I will do everything I can to keep her away from the kids. Update number 2, March 14th, 2024. Oop comes back to provide more updates on her family situation after receiving support from Boru. After reviewing options available from Redditors, she goes forward with having kinship as it was the better choice for the family financially than legal guardianship. Oop's older brother, 22, has returned home and is now working remotely, which works great for the siblings. Oop's older sister has gotten in contact and informed she will send some money to help. Other oldest sister is working but will try to help on her weeks off but can't guarantee until things are stable. Oop shared individual updates on each siblings with their acceptance and struggles to their new reality as they are on a new routine with the older brother now in charge. He is helping Oop get the handle of their new lives with a healthy routine at home. The youngest sibling is taking the changes harder. The middle siblings are adjusting okay. The other 2 siblings are doing fine with brother being there. Moving forward, Oop focuses on helping siblings adjust to new changes made. Update number 3, April 4th, 2024. Oop and her older brother received approvals for kinship on their younger siblings. Mom still hasn't contacted Oop for a while except to complain about her missing their dad so much. That was the main point for Mom to ruin everyone's days and moods, especially Oop's. The siblings' nan is still not helping with the family at all. She has left to stay with her siblings' aunt and can't stand to be around the children. Giving individual updates on each sibling Oop has been looking after. Still having struggles with the siblings who are not adjusting very well to the new changes from their older siblings. The 7-year-old sister takes this the hardest. Oop is trying to find solutions to help her youngest sibling, especially with having breakdowns because the siblings have no parents now. Slowly, the youngest consider Oop and their older brother as her parents after feeling more stable with the new life changes. Oop and her brother are working on finding right disciplines for their siblings. Brother is trying to find the best ways to keep his younger siblings in check. He had past childhood trauma scars from their father's punishments of using an electric cord as a whip onto his bottom. Wants to break the cycle and not doing the same thing to the younger siblings. Oop worked on getting all of her younger siblings to doctors to make sure they are healthy. Making great food choices for the entire family was the goal so the youngest siblings can catch up with their peers on their health. Therapy and other appointments are added to the list so everyone's mental health can get back in good positions. The siblings are blessed to have the oldest brother and Oop around with support and love. Things are looking up a bit. Feeling like shit. Parenting is kind of hell. RN, April 14th, 2024. Oop has her own struggles on parenting her 5 younger siblings, but having her older brother there helps so much. Oop was not happy with her 16-year-old sister for videoing their 7-year-old sister having a breakdown regarding their parents' abandonment. Taking away the 16-year-old's phone, Oop discovers she has been messaging their mom without Oop's knowledge. The sister was begging their mom to come home to no response. Oop is upset because her sister hid it from her. Mom tells 16 years old she had better things to do than raising the children altogether. Oop's older sister, sister number 2, calls in to check with her and the siblings to make sure things are okay and sending money. Still angry at Mom for replacing her with the youngest sister who is now 7, Oop tells her that it's not her fault. Oop's oldest sister, sister number 1, wanted to bring Oop to live with her because she is trying to shield Oop from family problems. Oop tells oldest sister that she will be okay. She needs to be there for their younger siblings. Oop and her brother are still working on getting therapy for all involved. Update number 4, May 20th, 2024. Oop returns a month later with a new update after receiving more support from Redditors. She shares news on things happening in her family. Older sister, number 2, is able to make a visit soon to check in with Oop and their siblings. Sister's relationship with their brother, 22, is sort of strained due to past childhood trauma altogether when they and their oldest sister, number 1, were younger. Oop understood why her 3 older siblings moved out at 18 while the family problems were not being resolved and affecting their mental health. Oop and her brother are looking into moving to a different city to have a fresh start with their younger siblings. Brother is still working remotely, and his job is working on helping him moving his family away from their current house. It has been in the plans for a while as brother feels it would do the siblings good to have a clean slate. The finances are getting better for the siblings as Oop and brother are able to budget and save some. Oop gave individual updates on each sibling as things are improving, but they are still dealing with problems/issues. Therapy has started for a couple siblings while others are still resenting. But overall, all siblings are starting to accept the new reality. 16-year-old has not received any more messages from their mom. Oop confirms the mom is no longer talking to the kids. 7 and 9 years old sisters are starting to see Oop as their mom now. The family's food diet is improving very much after they made life changes to get healthy. Oldest sister, number 1, is still having trouble on dealing with the family trauma, still wants to move Oop in with her. She refused to see their younger siblings due to her past childhood trauma. Oop wants to break the ice and have the oldest sister meet with their youngest sister to make sure she, number 1, knows who her sister is. Grandma is still not helpful for Oop and her brother. Up all the time. She whines at me daily about wanting my cousin to come live here, and she threatens to kick us out all the time even though she told our caseworker we can live here as long as we need. Try not to waste my energy getting pissed off at her BC. My patience is running thin as it is, but JFC, she is so annoying and so aggy. BC, she's offended that I told her she's a shit parent and grandparent. My mom may have found my dad. I only suspect it because she has been messaging me demanding photos of my 12-year-old brother, and chances are she just wants to show my dad that he looks like him. She only gives a shit about her kids when she's trying to use them to make our dad love her. I told her to go fuck herself. BC, I'm not sending her any photos. Like, get a fucking grip. If you don't already have photos of your own child on your phone, that's a you problem. She has been a bitch to him his entire life anyway. If dad leaves soon after you're born or while she's still pregnant with you, you're in her bad books for life. 22, me, 16, 12 and 7 were all in the bad books before we could hold our own heads up. And the oldest 2 are in the bad books for not being quiet about him abusing them and letting it continue so my mom could live her dream of having my dad at home. Also should mention my dad has other kids. Like how many, and I have never met them, but he has mentioned them before and I thought they may have been made up, but my sister said one of them contacted her ages ago, so they defo exist. 7-year-old has been calling me mummy. I have mixed feelings about it. I feel bad that this little kid has to resort to calling a 20-year-old mess mummy. It has made it feel a lot more real, like damn, I really am all these kids have at this point. I know my mom would never sort herself out, but deep down I guess I felt like I'm the temporary guardian, and now I've fully realized no one is coming to take over at any point. I knew that, but if it had clicked until a few days of the teeny monster calling me mummy. I'm happy that she has someone she can call mummy though. She wouldn't have that in foster care, so that makes me feel better. It would be really fucking sad if she had no one to call mummy at 7 years old. 9-year-old has been a bit upset about it. BC, I think she wants to call me it as well, but it feels a bit uncomfortable for her. She keeps crying saying she wants me to be her mum too, but I'm not her mum and she doesn't know what to do. OFC, I have told her she can call me what she wants and it won't change the fact I will look after her and be there for her the same either way. I am kind of worried 7 years old is going to start calling Matt dad. BC, she is deep in her wanting a dad era and desperate for a dad. Talks about it a lot and asks about having a dad daily. Which triggers the other kids who hate our dad. So like if it will go down well if she starts calling bro dad. And I feel like it will be weird for her to refer to us both like that when we are siblings. But I don't want to tell her she can't either. She hasn't done it yet, but I can see her edging towards it. She asked me if I was going to marry Matt so he could be the dad. And he is so good with her. I heard him singing to her the other night. So OFC, she's in lovey. With 16 years old, I have found it easier if Matt does all the tough parenting shit and I act like I'm on her side kind of. OFC, he knows I'm not really, but she doesn't want me parenting her, so instead of trying to force it on her, I'm trying to be more like just a sibling, and he is the bad guy. It doesn't work out perfectly and I still get pissed off at her, but mostly only when she does something to interfere with me parenting the other 4. Like 7 years old has her lovies, old muslin cloths, she is very attached to, and 16 years old confiscated one of them and wouldn't give it back, and I had to tell her you don't confiscate shit and force her to give it back by threatening to take her phone. But other stuff I leave to Matt. He is less bothered by the psychological BS with her. He just gets annoyed when I have an attitude with him and she overhears and copies me, lol. It's been a lot of trial and error figuring out how to deal with everyone. BC, like 13 years old is my shadow and does not react well to Matt disciplining her at all, but is fine if I do it. And 12 years old is one extreme or the other. Would tell me to fuck off but would cry when Matt tells him off for it. He listens to me better now, but only when I grab him and make him look at me whilst I speak. BC is the master of tuning me out. He cuddles me when no one else is around though, and if Matt disciplines him he comes to me crying. 9 years old is a perfect angel until she isn't and decides to have a 30-minute battle with us. BC, she doesn't want to brush her teeth for no actual reason. She kind of reminds me of myself as a kid trying to keep it all together all the time, but she is safe enough to then let it all out in a meltdown. Mostly she's pretty easy. BC, she's reasonable, but sometimes she does go full demonic and tests our patience. To everyone messaging me saying 7 years old sounds autistic, she's not. I've discussed it with the doctor and the therapist. She's got anxiety and abandonment issues and is very stressed in general, which is why she can't let herself lose control and fall asleep. But she was not like this before my mom left at all. She used to sleep fine. All of them struggle with food. BC, they have been eating ramen their whole lives, but it's harder to get 7 years old to eat better. The older ones, I can explain it a bit better that they need the nutrition and they will try and eat more. But she doesn't give a fuck about nutrition. And she's crazy attached to me. BC, she thinks I will leave, obviously. She has tabs on me constantly. But in theory that should all pass with time and reassurance. Matt has been really good at not being like our parents were with us. He walks away a lot when he gets pissed off. BC, he doesn't want to react badly to the kids. He hasn't smacked anyone since our big argument about it, which TBH is impressive considering how it was for us as kids. He literally has scars from my dad's beatings, and my mom has broken multiple bones on a few different kids. So trying not to be physical at all when that's what you're used to is hard, but we are doing it. I'm chilling out a bit now with letting him actually parent and not intervening all the time. Like a while ago, we were having a terrible night with 7 years old and she was still screaming at about 2 a.m. Matt came to get her off me. I was about to lose it, and as he picked her up she was flipping out and accidentally headbutted him full in the face. I basically went blind and grabbed her off him so fast. If that was my dad, he literally would have thrown her across the room and she'd be in hospital. But Matt just sat on the floor silently and held his nose for a while. And I was like, oh, WTF, he didn't even seem pissed off. So a couple more situations like that and now I'm not so crazy in protection mode and feel like I can trust him. Anyway, this is a lot longer than I planned yet again. Can't stop writing when I start, even though these updates take me days. For more stories, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks.